10 News begins with the 10 News breaking weather alert.
10 News has issued a breaking weather alert for a dangerous heat wave hitting San Diego. Right now, we are taking a live look toward the East County, where we could see record-breaking triple-digit temperatures. 10 News weather anchor Jennifer De La Cruz is in the Weather Center right now with San Diego's most accurate forecast. But let's get started with breaking news in Texas. Houston underwater, tens of thousands trapped, hundreds already rescued. The catastrophic flooding almost hard to believe. ABC's Lana Zach is in Houston, where the rain shows no signs of letting up.
Good evening. The White House has announced the president will be traveling here to Texas on Tuesday, and by all accounts, it will still be raining. Houston is trying to stay afloat amid nearly 500 billion gallons of water. Sinkholes opening up, tornadoes touching down. This lake was once a runway at Houston's Hobby Airport. Already there have been thousands of requests for rescue.
Mark your roof to be seen from the air, wave sheets, towels, or anything to get our attention.
The National Weather Service tweeting, "This event is unprecedented and all impacts are unknown and beyond anything experienced. Follow orders from officials to ensure safety." Overnight, we saw the drainage systems overrun, spouting like fountains. And I want to show you this. Look at the water just rushing out of this manhole cover. The systems that were designed to remove all of this excess rain now completely oversaturated. And we are talking about 4 or 5 days of continuous rain. This is just day one. Today, 911 call centers are completely inundated. At this assisted living facility, these seniors needed to be airlifted from floodwaters up to their waists. Major highways like the 610 loop completely impassable. Across the state, neighbors helping neighbors. Simon Mumford said there was no sign of rescue workers, so he used boogie boards, rafts, and a kayak to pull others to safety.
We had about, last count, 11 people, 6 dogs, 2 cats. So it's been kind of a Noah's Ark for the last 7 or 8 hours.
Many making the best of a bad situation, even fishing in the living room. And that goes to the attitude that we've heard from so many out here. Texans are tough. They're going to get through a hurricane, tornadoes, flooding. But the situation is really very serious. The National Guard has been deployed and 2 major hospitals are now being evacuated. Reporting from Houston, Lana Zach, ABC News.
The weather anchor Jennifer De La Cruz tracking that storm in the 10 News Pinpoint Weather Center. So much heartbreak out there. 4 to 5 more days of this. How much rain are we talking?
Oh, a lot of rain. By the time this is all said and done, we could see more than 50 inches in some areas. So this is certainly a long-lasting rain event. Unfortunately, they will not be getting a break from this anytime soon. As we look at our satellite radar, still a tropical storm. They're expecting this to continue through Wednesday as a tropical storm before it starts to die down. We now have some of those bands moving through the greater Houston area all the way through New Orleans. So this is going to continue moving very slowly. That's the problem here. It's pretty stationary, so we're going to continue to see more flooding, possibly record-breaking flooding by the time this is over. They have plenty of watches and warnings in place, expecting tornadoes, storm surge, and more flooding taking us all the way through next weekend. They've already seen 30+ inches of rain in the last 48 hours, and it will continue. I'm tracking record-breaking heat here in San Diego coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Jen, we wanted you to take a look at these pictures the Texas Tribune tweeted out today. It certainly gives you some perspective. On the left, this is Memorial Parkway in Houston yesterday, and on the right, the same exact area this morning, totally submerged. So you can see just how fast this situation is evolving, just how fast that water is going up, and no relief in sight. Meantime, San Diego has been sending help to Texas in a big way. On Friday, nearly 50 doctors and nurses and paramedics from San Diego's disaster medical assistant team headed to the storm. 2 local Coast Guard crews also there helping with rescue efforts right now. And last night, San Diego firefighters also packed up supplies as a task force of 45 people from 20 different agencies headed for Texas. 10 News will stay on top of the breaking situation in Texas. We'll bring you the latest updates on our newscast and on our 10 News mobile app. Now back to our breaking weather alert coverage here at home. Temperatures already starting to climb with dangerous heat on the way. Temperatures near Cowles Mountain reached 100 degrees today. Some brave hikers out there, families hiking the mountain, say the heat was very intense.
It's more than we can really tolerate. In La Jolla, we just don't get that hot. It was definitely harder to get up there, for sure. We were feeling the heat. If you're tired, don't push it, because in the heat, you can really hurt yourself.
the county. How are we looking, Jen? I see just red behind you.
Yeah, it's very hot. We actually already broke a record today. So 116 degrees in Borrego Springs today. The last record was 115 set in 2011. And I'm expecting we are certainly going to be breaking more records as we head further into this heat wave. Already under a heat advisory for our mountains. A heat advisory begins on our coastline starting tomorrow morning, taking us through Wednesday evening. An excessive heat warning already in place for our desert areas. And that will also begin for our inland communities starting tomorrow morning. We're going to see temperatures between 90 to 102 degrees on our coast through Wednesday. Mountains 94 to 102 for that excessive heat warning. Temperatures ranging from 98 degrees to 108 degrees inland. 110 to 116 for our deserts. Very hot, dangerous heat. We're tracking record-breaking temperatures coming up in your 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Jen. The heat could also have a big impact on the first week of school. Classes start for San Diego Unified students tomorrow, but the district is already considering minimum days or shorter days for schools that don't have air conditioning in most classrooms. The district says it has implemented its hot weather plan, and principals will notify parents if minimum day schedules are needed. So they're going to watch the forecast here. We have a link to more information on San Diego Unified's hot weather plans at 10news.com. Just click on the red TV button. New today.
Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets!
Hundreds of San Diegans joining forces here to battle hate. It comes as swastikas surface and racist groups emerge in other parts of the country. It ended at Horton Plaza, where 10 News reporter Hannah Mullins has how local protests stand out.
In San Diego, we haven't seen any counter-protesters. Now, it started at Balboa Park. So many people showed up, they filled the entire street, and it was more than a mile to end here.
That's a poop emoji. It says dump Trump. Dump him in the garbage.
Giselle Cecilia is only 8, so she wasn't sure why she was there.
Well, I don't know.
Jamie Lewis went to the San Diego rally against hate to learn too. The Grossmont College students showed up at the march from Balboa Park to Horton Plaza to write a paper on stereotypes.
When you're a kid, you just want to be a kid.
But growing up in the South, he had to live in fear.
Just walking down the road and you see a vehicle, you got to jump in the bush to hide because you don't know who's driving that vehicle and what's going to happen.
He says it was black and white. There was no in between, and dark skin had adults hurting small children.
Little boy and all this different things. Watched them slap little kids my age, just slap them down.
Take a closer look and you see his blue eyes.
I'm all mixed. I'm African American and I'm American Indian. I'm also part Caucasian.
Over the years, Lewis says racism largely lost its voice in America.
It's more silent now. It's more about facial expressions. If I say good morning to you, I would love to hear you say good morning back.
Hate didn't stop him from joining the Marine Corps and serving his country.
The thing about it it's not how they treat you, it's what you're protecting.
But he didn't pledge to protect violence and hate.
It scares you.
And these are the colors he cares about, so he was glad to see thousands fighting it in the streets.
If we can just stop the hatred, then, just think about what this country really could be.
Well, I just talk to them the same way how I talk to white people. They're the same as us, just different colors.
Hannah Mullins, 10 News.
Meantime, President Trump kicked off his day on Twitter, tweeting about everything from the storm to books to the infamous border wall to the economy. Trump is receiving criticism for his decision to pardon a controversial Arizona sheriff. On Hurricane Harvey, Trump touting the federal response, saying, "We have an all-out effort going and going well."
The most important thing was that I made a disaster declaration that the president granted very swiftly.
This is somebody that constantly has talked about healing, 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 but almost every single one of his actions as president has been the exact opposite.
The White House says Mr. Trump will travel to Texas on Tuesday. Now to a crime alert, a bizarre crime alert in the South Bay. A couple finds a strange man showering in their home. 10 News reporter Matt Boone live in Chula Vista. And Matt, police say this isn't the first time this guy's been there.
Yeah, Vanessa, it's definitely a weird story, but if you notice behind me, there is a for sale sign out here, which police say can be a magnet for burglars and squatters, and that's exactly what happened. This guy actually admitted he'd been here 3 times before to take a shower. We got video from earlier when police were on scene. They came inside and actually found him still in there, apparently unaware that the police were on their way. They arrested him, took him into custody around 10:30 this morning. The owners say they came to the property, but when they entered, they noticed a few things out of place, including an air conditioner that was on and some doors that were usually left closed were open. Then they heard the shower and realized someone was inside. When police arrived, they said they also found burglary tools, a meth pipe, and some beer. They say they had there's a broken window screen. That's likely how he got inside. There were other items inside the house that police say didn't belong to the suspect or the homeowners assigned. There may have been other intruders. I spoke to some neighbors who say the squatters in the neighborhood have been a problem. One man said he even found someone in his home recently when it was under construction.
He broke in. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, like I said, it was only the 3 bedrooms and the bathrooms. It wasn't much of a house. And he was carrying around our recycling bin, and he yelled to somebody about a gun, and then me and my family just kind of like ran to get away.
This home is currently in escrow. And police say that suspect was actually already on probation for several other offenses. He's been taken into custody. Reporting live in Chula Vista, Matt Boone, 10 News.
All right, Matt, thanks so much. New video tonight, protesters in handcuffs as violence breaks out at a massive rally there in Berkeley. We are monitoring that tense situation right now. And a rare experience for San Diego cyclists getting to ride across the Coronado Bridge. What keeps them coming back year after year?
We are in a breaking weather alert to keep you safe during this dangerous heat wave. I'm tracking record-breaking temperatures coming up in your 7-day forecast.